Welcome back to Gold is Where You Find It. And as you can see, the water's pretty high and it's been raining a whole lot lately, but I just couldn't stay away from the creek. So I figured we'd try a little experiment, maybe find a little bit of gold and learn something. So smash the like button, let's get to it. So something that I've always wanted to know is how much raw pay compares to classified material. So we've got a couple different classifiers and we're going to go and dig some similar material. We're going to see how many shovels of unclassified material equals half-inch classified material and minus 20 mesh classified material. So we're going to fill up a pan with each of these three sizes here and see how much the difference is when you classify. So let's go ahead and get started by filling up a pan to the brim with unclassified material and see how many shovels that takes. So to make this a fair test, I'm going to use some material that's about equally easy to dig from the same general area. That way we get more of a fair comparison. So let's go ahead and see how many shovels it takes to fill up the Garrett Super Sluice without a classifier. Keeping in mind that 5 full Garrett Super Sluices is a 5-gallon bucket. So we can go ahead and do the math and see how that equates to how many 5-gallon buckets full, because that's what most of us use out prospecting in our hobby. So let's go ahead and see. Nice and easy to dig material right here, right up the top of this gravel bar. And so we got full shovels right here. That's a full shovel. So we're going to try to measure in full shovels just to keep it fair both ways. And one shovel of material is almost a full Garrett Super Sluice unclassified. Let's go ahead and get another one. So here we go. 2 shovelfuls for the Garrett Super Sluice unclassified. So now let's go ahead and pan this out. Maybe we found gold, maybe we didn't, but that's not the purpose of this test. So it was torrential downpour earlier. So I figured I'd come to this bridge where I can stay a little bit more dry, even though, yeah, you're gonna get wet. But here we go, we got our full pan, and I don't really know if there's any gold under this bridge or not, but we're gonna pan it out anyways and just see how it turns out. So there we go, 2 shovelfuls of unclassified material. Filled up our pan to the brim. You don't really need a classifier to pan. You just got to kind of stratify, and then you can take the big rocks and kind of pull them off the back after you've stratified a little bit. By the time you get down to the end of the pan, pretty much all the big rocks are gone. And you know, the ripples themselves kind of act like a classifier. So, you know, now I'm down to the end here, and most of this material is pretty small. So it's really not that different than if I did use a classifier. Got a few little bigger pieces of gravel in there like that, but nothing you can't just pull out by hand. So it's really not any more difficult to pan without a classifier. And we're already down to the end of that pan right there. So there we go. May not be any gold in here, but there might be. And just for grins, we're going to check and see if there was any gold in this first pan. And find out here in just a second. And I don't see anything. So no gold in the first pan. It was just 2 shovels of unclassified material. Okay, now we'll go ahead and grab the 1/2-inch classifier. Maybe I should have brought the 1/4 inch so we could have tested that too, but I still think this will be an interesting bit of data. So 2 shovels, unclassified. I'm going to dig right in the same spot. Should be just about the same type of material. we're going to do full shovels just like we did. So 2 shovels to fill up our classifier. There we go. Classifier's full. Let's go ahead and classify it down. So far we got the same exact amount of shovels, but after we classify it down, we should have room for some more material to get our pan completely full to the brim, just like we did on the first pan. Alright. And the pan is mostly full, so I mean, we really can only fit like 1, maybe 2 more shovels of 1/2-inch material. That's interesting. So we may not even be able to fit 2 more shovels in there. I mean, so far it's looking like it's going to be maybe 3.5 shovels of 1/2-inch material to fill this pan up. Let's go ahead and take another nice full scoop there. We'll put 2 more scoops in, and I think the pan's actually going to be overfilled after we classify it. There we go. That's pretty full right there. Let's classify it down and see if all this material even fits. If it doesn't fit, then we'll go ahead and say 3 to 3.5 shovels of 1/2-inch material equals 2 shovels of unclassified material. You can see right here it's raining, right here it's not. So we're under the bridge. We can stay a little bit dry. I mean, it's not that bad right now. But if it starts torrential downpour, we got a place to stay dry, or drier. Let's see here. I think this pan is going to be over full. I think we're going to see a big difference when we go down to 20 mesh though. Let's see here. And yeah, I mean, it's full. So we're going to go ahead and say 4 shovels compared to 2 shovels when you use a 1/2-inch classifier versus no classifier. So Careless Whispers is over here trying to find some rocks while we're doing this. Let's go ahead and check out what she's got here. Oh yeah. I mean, that's some nice looking quartz right there. It's got some iron mixed in it for sure. Mine. She likes those big rocks. Here, we'll zoom back out so we can see. Yeah, that's a nice looking piece of quartz. So there we go. We're going to have even more rocks in the back of the truck. So that's interesting. So if you fill up a bucket with 1/2-inch material, you're actually processing 2 buckets of unclassified material. So, wow, that's interesting. So a cubic yard is approximately 42 5-gallon buckets. So if you do 20 buckets of 1/2-inch material, you're running a yard with 21 buckets if you classify. So let's go ahead and pan it down real quick and see what we got. All right, that's an interesting piece of data. You can just divide by 2. So that means that it'll take, 10 of those shovels to equal 1 bucket of unclassified, and 20 shovels to equal 1 bucket of 1/2-inch classified. Definitely seeing some glacial gravel in here, some small pieces of quartz from Canada. I've been transported a couple 100 miles to here where we are. And usually the top layer of a gravel bar is not where I would expect to find the good gold. Usually by that time it's filtered down to the bottom. The top layer of a gravel bar like this is usually pretty loose gravel. And when I'm trying to find gold, I'm not looking for loose gravel. I'm looking for tightly compacted gravel that hasn't moved very much in a long time. And that's giving the gold time to accumulate down into that gravel. But loose gravel is perfect for this experiment. Gives us a fair comparison. if you got compacted gravel, chances are it would take you a lot more than 2 shovels to fill up a Garrett Super Sluice. But yeah, for the purpose of this video, I think even though we might not find that much gold, we're going to learn something for sure. Got that almost panned down. Hey, if we find a little speck of gold, I'll be happy. I'll be happy. Now, I've been in some rich gold-bearing areas and found absolutely nothing at the top of a gravel bar. So, in a glacial area, I'd be real surprised if you found much of anything at all in the top of this gravel bar. Might try to look for some gold after my experiment's done, see if we can actually find something. Let's go ahead and check the result here, just for grins. All right, here we go. We got it panned down. Let's roll it back and take a look. And, oh, look at that. We do have gold. We do have gold in this pan. So that's crazy. And we got gold on the very top. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Zoom in and take a look. It's not a micro speck either, but it's a small little piece of gold. And there it is right there. It's a small piece of gold, but it's gold nonetheless. There's my finger for a size reference there. But look at that. We got a little piece of gold in our 1 pan or 4 shovels worth of 1/2-inch classified material. Now onto the 20 mesh. As you'll probably hear a lot of hobbyists say, we're not commercial miners, so all specs matter. So we're going to go ahead and snuffer this little itsy bitsy piece of gold up, and we're taking that one home. You can go ahead and leave your predictions in the comments, but 2 shovels fills up a super sluice with unclassified material, and 4 shovels fills up the super sluice with 1/2-inch material. So leave your guess in the comment. How many shovels is it going to take to fill up the Garrett Super Sluice with a 20 mesh classifier? So got the same, very similar material here, digging from the same spot. And so we're going to get full shovels. Try to make it a little scientific. All right, that's a nice fat tube right there. Get one more of those. There we go. And that's about all we're going to be able to fit. So let's classify that down. Now, one thing about classifying, the smaller the classifier you use, the longer it takes to classify. And when you're gold prospecting, make sure you pay attention for glass, because if you're not wearing gloves, you can really hurt yourself on a piece of glass like that. So let's see how full this pan is after we use this 20 mesh. My personal guess is it's going to take at least 6 shovels to fill up my pan with the 20 mesh material. All right, and it's just a lot more time consuming to classify smaller. Pull these big rocks out. Now, I very, very highly doubt we're going to find any gold out here that's bigger than 20 mesh, so that's one factor you want to consider when you're choosing what size classifier to use, is what size of gold are you looking for? And if you're looking for all gold smaller than 20 mesh, you're not worried about losing a plus 20 mesh piece, then go ahead and classify smaller. But you also got to balance how much longer it takes to classify this small. You know, I got to do a lot more shaking back and forth to get all this material to go through this smaller stream. All right, that looks pretty good. Toss that aside. Let's see how full our pan is. It's not very full at all. It's not even close. So I think my estimation of 6 shovels is going to be way off. Looking at this, I think we're going to fit at least 10 shovelfuls of -20 material in the super sluice. And we'll find out. I don't know.
I mean, it might be a third full, but I don't even think it's a third full. Go ahead and get a couple more shovels. That's a nice full shovel there. Actually, that shovel was, that doesn't make it very scientific. That one shovel pretty much filled up my whole classifier. So maybe do like 2/3 of the shovel. So we'll count that as 2 shovels. So now we're up to 4 shovelfuls. So even though this water's really high, I do have to say, this is a beautiful backdrop for a video right here. What do you guys think? It's really pretty out here for sure. Go ahead and get a couple similarly sized shovelfuls. There's one. There you go. And that is 2. So far we're up to 6 shovels. And let's see. I think we got a little ways to go. I think a couple more just about going to do it. So let's get a couple more. Scoop number 7. And scoop number 8. Let's see there. Okay, so 8 scoops. I think we're going to have to say it's going to be about 10. So let's go ahead and get a couple more. It means you can fit 5 times as much material in a pan, or 5 times as many shovels in a pan when you classify it on the 20 mesh. So yeah, we're going to get wet. That's for sure. Shovel number 9. Shovel number 10. All right. There we go. I mean, it's still not as full as it was. I think we can do some more. I think we can fit more in here. I mean, yeah, that pan's pretty full, but it's not quite as full as it was when we did unclassified. We got that thing heaped up pretty good. Wow. This is kind of making me think you might be able to process more material in a day by classifying, because you're spending a lot less time panning. Although I have noticed it does take longer to pan a pan of 20 mesh than it does a pan of unclassified material. I think it takes significantly longer. All right, we're going to call that full. So we just fit 12 shovels of raw hay into one pan. Let's go ahead and pan it out. And we'll actually kind of time it and see how much longer it takes me to pan this than it did to pan the unclassified. I think it's going to take a lot longer. You really got to stratify good when you got this much small material in your pan. You're going to spend a lot more time stratifying, or at least I am. I feel like I need to spend more time stratifying. All right. Okay. So we did find one little piece of gold in our 1/2-inch material, so and we did 4 shovels. So I mean, if there's the same concentration of gold, we're doing 3 times as much material as we did on our 1/2 inch. pan. So maybe we'll find 3 specks in this one, but it doesn't exactly work that way. Maybe over the course of many yards of material, it might average out that way, but not when you're doing 3 pans. Now, I already feel like it's taking longer. A lot more black sand too. I mean, a lot more shovel full, so you would expect there to be a lot more black sand. Some bigger rocks kind of leak their way over the edge of the classifier. Actually, several good sized rocks that leak through. I reach down in there and grab them. The water is rising. And we're just about done here. So, definitely don't want to be caught in a flash flood, guys. Definitely don't want to be caught in a flash flood. There was somebody in this region. There's somebody in this region that just had to be rescued. So, somewhere in the Great Lakes region, somebody got caught in a flash flood. All right, I'm just about to the end there. We'll call that good. Maybe we'll get lucky and find 3 pieces of gold this time. Or we might get skunked. That's just how it works.
Okay, let's see. Let's see. We definitely got gold. We definitely got 2 pieces of gold at least. Okay. Alright, so let's see here. Well, isn't that funny? We got at least 3 pieces of gold now. At least 3 pieces. Let's just go ahead and see if there's any more. That would be funny if it actually ended up being 3 times as many pieces of gold with 3 times as much material. And it looks like it. Well, isn't that funny? That's pretty funny the way that math worked out. We get 3 times as much material and got 3 times as many pieces of gold. And there you have it right there. 1, 2, 3. And, you know, my theory played out. We ran 3 times as much material and got 3 times as many pieces of gold. So that's pretty interesting. We're going to go ahead and snuffer those up. All right, so as I snuffer this gold up here, I'm going to go ahead and put some math up on the screen. So you can kind of see what we learned today. What I think it's kind of significant, the information that we learned here. And so I don't know. Hopefully help you out a little bit too.
That other one floated, almost got away from me, but there it is. All right, we got those snuffered up. Okay, so as the water's starting to rise up here pretty quick, the rain's really coming down. I hope you guys learned as much out of this video as I did making it. So please go ahead and smash the like button on that if you learned something. Subscribe to the channel and consider joining to become a member, because I got some members-only content, a little bit of members-only giveaway, and I got a merch store at goldiswhereyoufind.com where you can find some gold mining-related apparel from me and from my wife, Careless Whispers. She's got some shirts on there as well. But I appreciate you watching. I'll see you next time.